Hi everyone, welcome to Back to School with doTERRA Europe. We have a jam-packed schedule of exclusive content prepared for you today. Our first panel, our four mums, Sara, Cathrine, Katie and Alison, will kick off the day. Get your pens, notebook and highlighters ready because the class is about to start.
Hi there, my name's Lisa Rooney, and I'm the Market Development Manager for the UK and Ireland. I'm thrilled to be here today with a group of my favourite ladies, and we're here to talk about something that's perhaps popping up in everybody's newsfeed at the moment. Children are going back to school. I am loving seeing all of your first day at school photographs. So whether you're a parent or not, you cannot avoid it's happening right now. And I want to talk to these fabulous mums about how the doTERRA essential oils have an impact on their life. Ladies, thrilled to have you with us today. Give us a wave, let us know you're here. Fabulous. So let's talk to some of our mums out there. So we have Sara over there in the beautiful Forteventura. Sara, tell me a little bit about how you use our essential oils to support your family.
Thanks for the introduction. Yeah, so I absolutely love using the oils in my family. It's also one of the reasons why I started, to support my kids with a lot of the emotions they were going through as they were growing up as well. So where do we even start, right? Like, that is the question, because there's so many oils that we use. And as my kids have grown up, they're teenagers now. They were kind of between 8 and 10-year-olds when we actually started using the oils. And so over the years, definitely the priorities have changed, but oils that for us will always be in the diffuser every single day will be Balance. I love Calmer, they love Calmer. Obviously, with going back to school, Stronger is a really important oil that we will be using on the bottoms of our feet before we actually start.
So Kathy, tell me a little bit about your family. What ages of your children?
Hi Lisa. So I have two children. I've got Coco, who is almost 12, very almost 12, and a little boy called Kit, who is again almost 8. Their birthdays are really close together. And basically, yeah, it's the same as Sara has already said. When I first discovered doTERRA and the oils, it was specifically looking to help support especially my son, and we've never looked back. It's been almost 5 years now since we've been using the oils, and hand on heart I can say as a mum I have never missed a day of using the oils since. So we use the children's supplements, are so fantastic for them as well. It's not just about the oils, and of course we've done a lot of work on both of my children with their gut health, and the probiotics for the children. I absolutely love them. I really use those every single day again. But for me, absolutely, I could not be without air. We use Balance, Wild Orange, those two combined together. It's such a beautiful calming scent around the home if you're getting a bit jittery. And I know my daughter, she's just at that age where they're just about to go back to school tomorrow actually, and she's a little bit jittery with everything that's going on, and so I'm doing a lot of work with her to help keep her calm and not worry about things that she doesn't need to worry about. So yeah, they're never a day without them in our home.
I remember seeing Coco at one of my very first events, and she came along with you. Do you remember back in the day when we got to touch and hug each other?
I know. She was so little then, and she actually won her very first kit that day.
She did.
Yeah. So no, she's a good doTERRA girl.
I think getting the children involved in events, even if they're online now, really does help them to embrace using the essential oils themselves, because they're eager to tell you what they love.
Oh, I think I always say this when I'm teaching other mums and when I'm talking to my own children. I always say that be guided by how your children respond to the oils. They know how they're feeling and they know how the oils make them feel, and I love that. It's quite empowering for them.
Yeah, fabulous. Thank you, Kathy. Cathrine, how would you, welcome to the call, darling. Good to have you on our Zoom. Now, how do you use these oils to support yourself when looking after the children? Because that can be a key thing, can't it, to keep yourself on an even keel?
Hi Lisa, thank you so much. I'm really excited to get to share a little bit more about how we use these oils. So I've actually been using them with my family for nearly 6 years, which is crazy, and I can't imagine my life without them. We've absolutely adored having these oils, but you're right, it is not just about supporting your children. I think as mums, you know, it's those things that we have everyday challenges as a mum, and we're always worried. I think from the minute that you know you're pregnant, you worry about your little one all the way up until they are, you know, I think forever actually, you're always going to be as a mum. But there's particular oils that I would call mummy oils. For example, Balance. It's one where things are getting really busy, really hectic. I have 3 boys. My oldest is 13, my middle son is 10, and my youngest is 6. And they're all really different characters. And actually, you know, like many other mummies have said today, is that these are the reasons why we needed oils in our home. And my middle son, he has all sorts of different things that he has going on, and frankincense has been our lifesaver. Just having oils that can actually really get to support them in a way that I quite frankly don't understand fully, and we don't need to understand because we've seen the impact that it's had. So obviously there's a lot out there that we can discover more and more about them, but it's about the changes that they make and empowering us in our homes. So it's about empowering us in our homes, and I think we need to be empowered. You know, mums, we've got so much going on in our lives, there's so many busy things. We need to have support, and so this is an additional tool in your toolbox to support you when things are tough, whether it's emotionally for you or emotionally for your children. And when your children are feeling really emotional, you just want to give them that massive hug. And sometimes as they get older, they don't necessarily always want mum's hug, but sometimes just having an oil that they can choose is so empowering as a mum. And so that's one of the main reasons why I just absolutely adore how doTERRA has transformed our lives.
So also on the Zoom meeting today, what we've actually got is one of our brand new moms over in Ireland. It's Alison. Hi, Alison.
Hi.
Look at you there with baby Connell. He's certainly keeping your hands busy.
Oh, I know, he sure is. Today is the day that I'm glad I have my oils. Let's put it that way.
Alison, so for the other ladies on the call, we didn't have the baby collection available. Have you been taking advantage of these new products?
Oh my gosh, absolutely. And I don't know, I was trying to think which one I prefer more, but I don't think I can pick. But to be honest, the one that I've been using the most is the diaper cream, because it's really multifunctional. So obviously, you know, it's used as a nappy cream, so I use it whenever I'm changing his little ball.
Alison, can you tell me what has been your most supportive essential oil?
Okay, well, at the moment, I'm using for him, and I think his favorite is Siberian fir. So I have my little Siberian fir roller ball here, and I just massage that along his little jaw, and it's been really supportive. So I would be lost without it. And copaiba as well. It's always hard to pick one. So those would be for him. And then for me, I think the emotional aromatherapy oils, but particularly console for me. Just when, you know, being a new mom, some days are tough, just having a little bit of a, you know, it's just really soothing and calming on my emotions, and I love it. So I just wear it as a perfume. Gorgeous.
Beautiful oil. I am totally with you on console. Love it. Let me think about bath time. What are you, firstly, is anybody using the new baby bath? And on top of that, if you're not using that or other times, how do you incorporate any of the oils into bath time? Because sometimes when the children are getting ready for either their first day at school, or they've got a little bit of anxiety for school because it's back to a new experience for them, what are you doing to calm down at that bedtime routine?
The baby hair and body wash. I just put about 3 pumps into his little bath, and it just creates a real gentle, nice foam, and it smells gorgeous. There's lavender and there's Roman chamomile in there, and it's just so relaxing, especially before bed. And after bath time, I use coconut oil just to support his skin. It's lovely and hydrating, and I love hope actually. And so I take some hope oil into the palms of my hands, pump on some fractionated coconut oil, and massage it over his body.
So for those of you with older children, how are you bringing sort of the wind down routine together?
Yeah, I think, to be honest, because of the age that my boys are, I have a 13 and a 16-year-old, I kind of allow them to choose. One of the things this week that happened, which was the first time, and I was really surprised and yet really, really amazed, and I felt so good about it, was our 16-year-old started talking about some of the feelings he was having, and he was being quite open and quite honest about things. And truth be told, he's not always been as open for the oils as maybe the younger one has been. And so I grabbed one of my emotions and essential oil books, and I was like, well, let's have a look at what you're feeling currently and what oils that you might find benefit from. And so we started looking at some of the oils that came up, and so green mandarin, pink pepper, and rose were 3 of those oils that really kept repeating on whenever he was looking at certain emotions that he wanted to kind of support himself with. And so we kind of created a roller. First he diffused them in the evening, going to bed, and he really loved them. And he said, I really like that blend, Mum. Can I do something else with it? And so I was like, well, we could make a spray, or we could do a roller, or we could maybe create a deodorant for you, you know, with these oils. And he said, oh, I actually like the idea of a roller. Can we make one? So we did. And the same evening he came back, and obviously he had taken it with him, and he was like, oh, all my friends were telling me how great I smell, and I let them smell my roller, Mom. And it kind of like all of a sudden, I think it made him realize how much of an empowerment you actually get from them as well. So especially because of the age that he's at, right? He's 16, there's a lot of things going on in his mind and his body, and just him having that experience, I was really so like, my heart just kind of melted because of it. And he's already looking in the book now to see like what other rollers and blends he can make, you know. So I think allowing them to kind of like invite them into it, rather than say, okay, I want you to diffuse this, or let's put this in your diffuser. Actually invite them over to your toolbox, invite them over to your oils, and say, do you want to open a couple of bottles and see what you're really drawn to tonight? And then using that, especially for us in our family, that has definitely been a lot better than me putting something in the diffuser, because I could often get reactions like, oh, that's not for me, or I don't think that is a smell that I want in my bedroom now at bedtime, you know. But if I'm inviting them to actually choose it, I've definitely had a lot more like open and positive reactions from both of them. And again, like going back to what I just shared about my eldest, how amazing, right? Like at 16, knowing that there's so much going on in your mind and your body, and actually having a tool to actually grab, and you're also smelling nice, because he's always been a big fan of perfumes and stuff. And I'm like, nope, I'm not buying it. You're not having it, you know? So now, you know, it's something that I've kind of been advocating for a while. All of a sudden that click has happened, and he's like, oh, I could create my own things. How cool, you know? So I think for us, that's definitely been a huge win this week.
That really is music to my ears. Imagine if we can have all of our children using these oils and then sharing them with their friends. We really are helping the next generation, aren't we, to, you know, use our natural products rather than getting out the aftershaves and the sprays.
I really wanted to share a really funny story actually. You were talking about, you know, the impact that this can have on other friends and families, and actually I had one of the best ever play dates. It was my favourite of all time, where we had when you try and get a friend over for each friend, because it's so much easier. So we'd actually managed to achieve it this time, and they were sitting down at the table all having their dinner, And then Theo asked, could I have a lemon drop in my water? And then his little friend said, well, I actually prefer wild orange. And I was like, amazing. And then his other friend, so my middle son's friend, said, well, actually, I prefer grapefruit. So they were all having this conversation about essential oils in their drinks and how they all love them. And I just was like, this is amazing. And just my heart just sang. You know that this is having a huge impact on these little children, not saying, no, I want some squash or I want something else in their water. And I just thought, oh, it was so awesome that I've actually been able to support and help with that. And then of course they had conversations about what their favourite ones were and how they used them. If you're tired, that's when you really need oils to support you. And so physical touch, I think, as well, is really important. Creating a bedtime routine. I really like creating that sort of, right, okay, which oils would you like? And then we put it on their feet, put them in the diffuser, and it's creating that touch and that, bonding time. And that's also a really important aspect of these oils, is that you're not only just having nice smells, you're creating life experiences and bonding experiences with your children. And they won't forget that. They will remember that and that comfort feeling that's able to give them. So yeah, I absolutely love bedtimes for that reason. And I'm so grateful for these essential oils helping my youngest to get to sleep more promptly.
You talk about touch there, and it really, as a mom, we always still want to be doing that cuddling with our children, don't they? And as they become teenagers, I don't know, particularly for boys, that I've found is they do like to have a little massage or tickle my feet, and that's the perfect opportunity for you to bring in those oils. They don't mind then because they're getting pamper time. So any way you can introduce them to using the oils, it's just wonderful. Love that. I also love, Cathrine, how you talked about them each choosing different essential oils for their water, and how cool is that? They're simply doing it as a flavouring point of view, but you as a mother know the goodness that they're getting as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And actually, even my husband, so he grew up differently to me. My mum never really put stuff in our drinks, but he hated water. That's not a good thing to hate, is it, really? But there are a lot of people that have just got so used to water having to taste differently to what it tastes. And how cool, like you said, you've got an opportunity for the water to taste amazing. And actually that was how he managed to stop drinking lots of quite intense soft drinks, is what they call them. I don't think they're very soft at all. They're not great for you, but it does. And of course then that educates your children to say that actually this is how, and this is what we do to support our health and well-being from a really young age. And I've met lots of people that, because they drank some quite intense drinks when they were really young all the way up, it's had some really intense impacts on their well-being. And so it's definitely a really exciting thing to be able to see and have children enjoy.
Kathy, you mentioned previously about the supplements that your children take. I know sometimes children are not very good at swallowing tablets or capsules. How do you overcome that with your children? Are there any tips you can share for mums out there to help the children to swallow?
Oh, yes, it's a really good, actually, in our home, it's a really great topic of discussion. Yes, I started my children off with the little On Guard beadlets that are tiny, they're like the size of caviar. And then we kind of have graduated from there. And obviously, everybody who's a mum, a dad, a carer, your children are all different, and it depends on their age, their weight, their height. So do ask one of us for advice with all of these. But for me, my daughter's a very tall 12-year-old, and I started her on actually a quarter of a dose of the Lifelong Vitality about a year ago. And so I just gave her one of each of the tablets in the morning, and she absolutely loves them. She is like me now. If I don't take the Lifelong Vitality, I know if I've skipped a few days with it. And so my daughter's the same, and she absolutely loves taking them. And especially now, brewing up to going back to school, we've been making sure we're very religious with it. My little boy, slightly different. He's nearly 8, like I said, and I love giving him the IQ Mega, the liquid for him. I know it's got all of the omegas in and also the fish oils, and it's beautiful, well balanced, and he's very happy taking that. He thinks it's a treat. He also takes the A to Zs as well every single morning. I just kind of put them down with their breakfast, and it's just part of our daily routine. And then likewise, at bedtime, I have a little jar in where my kids, they have got their own bathroom. It's not as fancy as it sounds, but we have a little jar in there with the PB Assist juniors, just a little jar of them. They can just do it themselves after they've cleaned their teeth. I make sure they do it last thing before they go to bed. One of the girls on my team actually advised me to do that, to make sure that we all should have the probiotics last thing at night, to make sure it's doing the best it can for our tummies. So yeah, I do that every single day, and it's just part of a lovely routine that we've all got, and they do it themselves now, really, so added bonus.
With my daughter, she could never swallow a tablet, and I think people naturally sort of like knock their head back. She's obviously been doing it wrong her whole life, and she's learning the new way. What is that way?
Well, it's amazing that you're bringing this up, actually, because I could not swallow tablets at all as a child. I really struggled with it. But yeah, I've discovered, since I've joined the doTERRA family, I suppose, somebody told me about if you put the Lifelong Vitalities into your mouth and put your head forwards and then drink your drink kind of leaning forwards, it opens your throat and it makes it way easier to swallow the supplements. And in fact, really strangely, which is something I have to do them all one by one still, but my daughter can knock them all back in one doing that. So yeah, it really works.
Sara, I know you live in a beautiful sunny place and maybe everybody's energized to get out of bed of a morning, but I know you've got teenagers, and if they're anything like mine, sometimes they just won't budge of a morning.
Oh man, what do I do to get them out of bed? That's a good question. I would probably say start putting wild orange and peppermint in my diffuser, or perhaps add some Motivate to the diffuser. That's probably as far of a step that I would go. I don't know whether I would take it any further, because I drag them. Yeah, well, I know what the reaction would be if I actually did that. So I think I'm gonna stay far away. Especially my 16-year-old. He's taller than me now, and he's so strong. He's like a proper man. It's crazy. So I think just diffusing would probably be what I would do. Maybe, a bit of cold water in a little glass or something, but then I would be a really mean mum. If we stick to oils, I think that's the safest for everybody in the home.
So ladies, the children are back to school or they're just going. What is that oil? What is the blend that you are sending them back to school with this term?
Oh, well, I've actually sent mine off with an On Guard hand spray in their pockets and a bottle of Stronger in their pencil cases, so that they can take a bit of control for themselves during the day. I hope they use it.
It's nerves for my ones, I would say. So Steady blend is a beautiful blend. It's got magnolia. It's like a really strong magnolia smell, and mine say it smells like sweets, which is like anything that smells really sweet, smells like sweets. So Stronger, Steady and Brave are the 3 that mine, and they choose them in the morning. I say, well, how do you want to feel today? And this is not just starting back at school. School can be daunting the whole way through for some little people, and so they decide what do you need today? Do you need to feel stronger? Do you need to feel brave? And yeah, they just basically decide, which is so lovely because they sniff them and decide. I love it in the morning.
Yeah, I think for myself, definitely Nick for sure. He's gonna go back with hand sanitizing mist. That is a given. Like there's no doubt about that. And I think probably if I would allow him to choose an oil right now to take with him, I think he would actually take the Brave blend with him. He's really drawn to that one at the moment. I think you know, that whole courage thing, right? It's such a strange situation now returning. They haven't actually returned back to school where we are. They're going to start around the 20th. They keep postponing it. But just everything that goes on in their little heads, you know, like just, yeah, that brave oil is going to be fantastic for him.
So there we have it. This is my fabulous group of ladies who would hopefully help support the mums and dads out there who have children returning back to school this autumn. You may even have a child who's starting school or nursery for the very first time. So hopefully get your oil kit, get your supplements, and make sure you are prepared to send your children off with the very best that you can do from them, from doTERRA.
Thank you for this incredible panel. I hope you got a few new ideas from our specialist moms. Now, an extra tip: always remember that dilution is crucial when using essential oils with kids. You can use fractionated coconut oil or detached versions and the kids collection, all of which are already diluted. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and stay right there because our nutrition panel is about to start.